For lesson 8-8, we'll be solving inequalities by multiplying or dividing. So when you multiply or divide each side of an inequality by a positive number, the inequality remains true. So like here we're multiplying by 4, the sign stays the same, and 20 is still less than 32. Here we're dividing both sides by 2. It's a positive 2, so the sign stays the same, and 1 is still greater than negative 5. So just as long as you're multiplying or dividing by a positive, the inequality does remain true. So let's do a couple examples of that. We have 6x is less than negative 30. So we're dividing by 6, which is positive. Okay, the 6's cancel. I get x is less than negative 5. So yes, this number over here is negative, but what are we multiplying or dividing by? Here we're dividing by a positive 6. So therefore, the inequality remains true. X is less than negative 5. So as long as you pick a number less than negative 5, so you can say negative 6. 6 times negative 6 is negative 36. You can't pick negative 5. 6 times negative 5 is negative 30, and this is not an equal to inequality. So here we have 1/2 times p is greater than or equal to 9. So to get rid of this 1/2, we're going to multiply by 2 over 1. Now we are multiplying by a positive 2, so the inequality will stay the same. The 2's will cancel. I'm left with p is greater than or equal to 18. So as long as p is greater than or equal to 18, the inequality remains true, and we did nothing to the symbol because we had positive numbers. Okay, so but when you multiply or divide each side of inequality by a negative number, the direction of the inequality must be reversed in order for the inequality to remain true. So notice here, you're multiplying both sides by negative 1. Well, look what happens. Negative 8 is less than negative 5. That is true. Okay, take a look here. It went from being 8 is greater than 5 to negative 8 times 1 is less than negative 1 times 5. So they did flip it. So it went from a greater than to a less than symbol. Take a look over here. Negative 3 is less than 9. Okay, it is less than right now. And then as soon as you divide by negative 3, it flips to greater than. So this is the one time that the symbol does change. So if b is divided by negative 4 is less than or equal to 5. So to get rid of this negative 4, I'm going to have to multiply both sides by negative 4 over 1. And multiply this side by a negative 4. This side I wrote it as a fraction because I'm dealing with fraction form. This side I just wrote it as an integer. But I am going to circle my symbol because I am multiplying or dividing by a negative number. So I'm circling that so I remember to do it. My negatives will cancel here. My 4's will cancel. I'm left with b is greater than or equal to, notice I flipped that, negative 20. So now if you picked, let's just say negative 20, for example. Well, negative 20 divided by negative 4 is 5, so they are equal to. And if you picked any other number greater than negative 20, this would still remain true. So again, we have to flip it, the symbol, the inequality symbol, because we are multiplying or dividing by a negative. So let's try another one here. We have negative 4n is greater than negative 60. We have to divide both sides by the coefficient of negative 4. When you do that, we're dividing by a negative, so I'm going to circle my inequality so that way I remember to flip my sign. So n is less than positive 15 because my negatives will cancel, and 60 divided into 4 is 15. My negatives over here cancel, and my 4's cancel, so I'm left with n. So as long as n is less than 15, this inequality will remain true. A box weighs 1 pound. It is filled with books that weigh 2 pounds each. So the box weighs 1 pound plus the books are 2 pounds each, so 2 times the books. Jesse can carry at most 20 pounds. So at the very most, he can carry 20 pounds. So he can't carry any more than 20 pounds, so it needs to be less than or equal to. So assuming space is not an issue, Write and solve an inequality to find how many books he can put in the box and still carry it. All right, so now we need to solve this. So first we need to subtract the 1 on both sides. Now remember, subtracting does not force us to change the inequality. Multiplying or dividing by a negative is the only time we will flip the inequality. So here I'm going to be left with 0. I'm going to have 2 times b is less than or equal to 19. Okay, and then right here I'm going to divide both sides by 2. And that's a positive number, so I don't need to flip it. The 2's will cancel. So b is less than or equal to, I'm going to have 9.5 books. So Jesse can fill 9.5 books. So it asks how many books can he put in? Well, he can't put more than 9 in. So the books would be b is less than or equal to 9. That's as many. He can't put more than 9 books in. And that's the last example for today. So if you have any other questions, you can watch the tutorials that I've placed on Moodle. Also, for your homework, you can check the step-by-step homework helper for all the odd questions in the book.